Well, we need to welcome you back, and we'll see what the big story for today. And we're looking at the court judgment. I'm talking about the Apex Court judgment, the Supreme Court judgment, as it concerns some of the governorship elections. We had 8 on Friday. 2 were reserved for later dates yesterday, and we're still also awaiting a whole lot, just as we also would wait for that of Delta State. That seems to be getting a lot of person interested on where it will go. But anyway, we're going to it, and we're looking at all the angles as it concerns that, but not also just looking at that, but also the reactions coming from most of the persons, especially after that judgment on Friday, indicating the non-interference of President Tinubu as a good one. And that's why we're looking at it. And we're looking at the recent judgment coming from the Supreme Court as it concerns governorship elections that were conducted on in March of 2023. And how that seems to be causing a whole lot of ripples. Ripples in the sense that some are indeed for it, as much as others do have their bit reservation as it concerns the judgment. And not just the judgment, but reactions coming after the judgment. And that's why I feel we need to go. And well, just in case you're joining us, a quick recap. We talked greatly about that very judgment on Friday. And did it go the way of the people? And why are Nigerians reacting a bit positive to it? Is it righting the wrongs from the tribunal and at the appeal court? Or is it going to send more guideline into what or issues that concerns those elections will go in the future? But anyway, we're right here in the present, and we still have no other person but Chief Pius of VGA helping out with the discussion. Now let's leave what played out on Friday and rather come to another major issue as it concerns that very judgment, and that is the praise Mr. President got for his non-interference of the Apex Court judgment. And I want us to first start by looking at some of the response from some of the major players. And I'm talking about the governors who, on account of that, benefited from the affirmation of their elections from the Supreme Court. And if you allow me, let's quickly start with Governor Alex Oti of Abia State. Now, he had in a statement on Saturday marking his victory after the affirmation from the Apex Court. Now, what he said was this, let us go to it, that President Tinubu deserved praise for remaining firm to the resolve that the judiciary should be independent. That's what he said, apparently suggesting non-interference of Mr. President. Just like Governor Oti said, let's listen to that of Akwa Ibom State and Umono. And what he said is, the ruling was indeed one that President Tinubu did not interfere with, also implying that Mr. President did not also interfere with the decision of the court. But he would have if he wished, so he said. So I want your reaction to those statements and assertion. Because it's already causing a whole lot of ripples.
Yes. You see, that stems down from our personal belief. People believe mainly they attribute failures to third parties. That is, they don't see failure from their own side. They will always want to attribute it to a third party. Now, don't forget that these cases started in the various states.
Of course.
Where the tribunal members, they were quartered by the governors. They were taking care. They took care of them for about 3 months.
So it was alleged.
In their own domain.
Okay.
They know what they did. So they expected that when this matter moved to the Supreme Court, where Mr. President is seated, and they are having these matters with the Mr. President's party, they believe that what they did
will come to play.
What they did at their various state levels, they were suspecting that Mr. President will also do that at the national level, at the Apex Court, because he's the one that gives them appointment. He appoints them, he funds them, he knows it. So they were afraid on their own. I think the judgment goes the other way, that they failed. They will be abusing Mr. President There is Mr. President interference. It is APC. They want to turn the state to the country to one party system. These are the things you will have been hearing. But surprisingly, they won without the president. Now, whether president interfered or didn't interfere, as far as they are concerned, president did not interfere. That's why they won. Because they won at their state levels.
So are you saying it is an indictment on themselves?
Yeah, they indicted them. Because what they did at state levels, you understand what I'm saying? Because these tribunal people were posted from different states to come and meet them. And when they got there, they reported to them. And they reported to the governors. And the governors quartered them for about 3 months. Stayed there with them, bought vehicles for them, did everything for them. Whether intention to wait the decision to their favor or not. So this is exactly what they did at their state. When the team moved out of their state to the national level, they were thinking that similar things will also take place there. So they were jittery. But now that they won, their elections have been upheld there. They have not that, oh, Mr. President, thank you. Thank you for not interfering. So these are the issues.
But anyway, let's still remain with it, because are you now saying, because if that's the case, are you now saying that the judiciary can easily be interfered?
No.
Interference
when you come to interference, when you talk whether judiciary, they are Nigerians. So the members of the judiciary, they are Nigerians. So they are Nigerians, and they are not going to different markets from you. They are seeing what is going on now. So that is another topic for another when you talk about corruption generally.
But let's
say they are easily
what I really want us to understand, because this is not a discussion that just prop up because of this issue of the judgment being delivered on Friday. If we take our minds back to June of 2023, Senator Bukachawa came out to say his wife, who was then president of the Court of Appeal, favored some of his friends.
Yes.
That had been in public space.
But that's why I told you that is another topic, because, and I started by saying the judges too, they are Nigerians. And when I say they are Nigerians, I mean they are Nigerians. And you should understand that they are Nigerians. Oh, is anybody not seeing what is happening in Nigeria? Will you say a judge who is having about 5 years or they're about to retire, then he has been going normally with his salary and nothing more, then all of a sudden one twat, because he followed politicians, they now make him, he rose and probably become one person in the politics and given appointment a chairman as a compensation, is from the same village with that judge. A judge has not been able to build a house because of with his salary in his village. Then that one who did not even go to anywhere. Before you know, he has almost bought all the lands in his village, built mansions, and this man will retire and go home to start receiving a pension. After retire for the next 6 years, no pension to him yet. You see, what I say, that is society generally. Yeah. When we talk about that one, when we come on the topic of corruption, we will now deal on those issues. But all I can say here now is that the judges, they are also Nigerians.
Okay. Now, I know, let's still remain with the issue of interference and look at those statements. Undermining, we feel more is more of an indictment on the part of some of the perceived winners and governors of the different states. But should that be a public discourse, that we're not talking about a third arm of government, a third independent arm, supposedly independent arm of government, now many feels takes direction from another arm of government and has his or her decision being influenced by the other arm of government? Are we there now?
Are the arms really independent? First of all, ask yourself that question. The arms are not completely independent. The judiciary cannot work in isolation. The legislature cannot work in isolation. They work together. So there is no complete, no one section that say independent and you hold it strongly and we are independent. No. Who controls the finances that go to the judiciary?
The executive.
Who controls the finances that go to the legislature?
The executive.
So what are we talking about? Who appoint the judges at the federal level?
The executive.
At the Supreme Court?
The executive.
So what are we not talking about? So there is no complaint. The issue is it has to do with personal integrities. People who want to leave a mark like that, just to put and co. So some of these judges, so far they have come and say, this is a let's give justice. Let us not be giving judgment resulting from technicalities. When we see issues, and in fact, something has to also be done at the judicial level, because those in the bench have to come very hard on the bar. You will know that a client will come and meet you and say, this matter, election, is a pre-election matter, and you are bringing it to post-election issues. To me, such lawyers should be fined. Seriously, so that
when judgment is being...
Yes, because they create more problem to the Supreme Court. If Supreme Court have ruled on something and your attention has been drawn to it, you look for a way to say no, but they continue to bombard. Where did we do election? February.
And March.
And March. We are now approaching February. We are still talking about court cases. When you see some court cases, some are issues that have been dealt with at the high courts. But whereas because they still need money, they want to bring it down to election tribunals. So some of all these things have to be corrected. So they are over-laboring these people. And a situation where you continue to over-labor these people, you pay. You pay. So those are some of the things. So there is no one arm that is completely independent in the system.
Okay.
Especially with the power, the system we are running, especially with the power given to the president, to the executive. No one arm, no, the other two arms cannot work independently outside the executive.
Okay, now,
so to say that they are praising the president for knowing, I will hang up that one that it depends on what they did to tribunal judges. What they did to tribunal judges when the judges were at their domain. What those ones were at their domain. So they were expecting something, they were not panicking because similar things may happen to them at Abuja. But here they are. They won their case. Justice was given to them right there. So they have not said, oh, Mr. President, thank you for not coming into this matter.
Okay, but we'll still remain with the matter. Well, in case you're joining us, it's Quest today, and it's still the big story. And we're looking at the recent judgment coming from the Apex Court, especially as it concerns governorship elections. In all honesty, most of those issues will be completed in a week or two. Most certainly, we're going to have the remaining cases, especially as it concerns that from the Apex Court, being decided. Just like we said yesterday, two of the cases were reserved for a later date. And we're talking about that of Nasarawa State and Kebbi State. And we do know that of Delta is also being still awaited, as the judgment will definitely be delivered by the Supreme Court very soon. But anyway, we're still right here. But looking at all of these, whether praise or not, interference or not, it still brings back that debate that has been in public space. And one person that brought up the debate that's still making it look as if, well, should we think towards that now, is no other person but former President Goodluck Jonathan. I could still remember in 2021, he came up first with that notion. And funny enough, just recently, last year, he also came out with that notion. And he's asking that question. Does it make sense that the court will now decide rather than the electorate? Can we not find other means whereby if issues like these arises, rather than hitting the three major courts, the tribunal up to the appeal down to the Supreme, can we not have another means whereby the electorate will now still go back to the field and decide? And then does it make any sense, with all due respect to the Apex Court, that we have maybe 10 men or 5 men or 4 men taking that decision that naturally would have been made by millions of Nigerians, being the electorate?
The the best place is at the polling units. The polling level, that is where the results supposed to. People supposed to be elected, not at the court level. But you see, two major players are causing us problem. Number one, INEC. INEC will come out with beautiful guidelines, things that will make it to work. Things that make it to work. You know, when people come and start blaming politicians, yes, fine and good. Somebody who is contesting, you just want to do anything to win.
Of course.
But how do you guide them? The INEC will now, they are all in Nigeria. They know the system, what is playing out. That's what brought the advent of number one, first time, card reader during Jonathan's issue. Good innovation by INEC, but it was thwarted by the court.
Yes.
You see, how did the court thwart it? The court went and they argued and said it was not covered by law. It's there, but it's not covered by law. So with that, they jettisoned it.
But will you blame the court or the legislature?
I'm coming. They left it. They did not came now with beaver.
Another
good one.
Beautiful idea.
This beaver now came with good guidelines. If you look at that law, perfect. Yeah, approve. INEC. First, you thwarted the usage. And how did you thwart it? You are given 7 days to review the election. Immediately, they pronounce winner. And you have complaint. Probably, beaver was not used. The law gave you INEC with these 7 days to review that thing. Do you know that in this particular 2023 election, INEC did not review anyone? So everybody headed to court. All of them. Otherwise, when you say, oh, beaver was not used, how many people are accredited in this unit? This is the unit you are completing. They go to the beaver. Okay, 200 were accredited. What is the result that came out of that place? 400.
Why?
What did they tell you to do? That unit said, you INEC cancel it there and there because that's what the law permits you to do. But what did INEC do? INEC now said, go to court. They refuse to review all this thing. That's why you see all the load
went to the court.
We're in court. The court is not the place to determine these electoral issues. You are the umpire. Somebody fetched foul to your guideline. You discipline that person immediately. Next time they will not say, next election will say, when Mr. A bypassed beaver.
This is what happened.
This is what happened though. All the money he wasted them. They will want to live within
the means
and the law. The guidelines and the law. But INEC on their own, no way. They didn't do anything like that. That's why people now say, okay, don't do anything you want to do, go to court. Had it be INEC stood their ground. And then we come and say, politician will not...
will not respect.
No politician want to fail in the election now. Is the one spending money, is the one contesting. You want to pass by anything. But you, it is left with you, left for you, INEC, to stand your ground that this, you are the umpire.
Yeah.
It's not like a football match. Any side want to win. So if possible, by the goal mat, if you use hand to push it inside,
Oh, the referee is
there,
for sure.
But it is the referee who will tell you, say, oh, you use your hand to push the ball there, take your red card, leave the field. Next time, when they are reduced to 10, the other players will become very careful, so that another one will not go. But here, INEC will throw away their face, remove face, and this is your guideline. In fact, in some of the tribunal level, that is at the trial level, we even see a situation where INEC will be denying their own certified true copy. Copy that they have certified for a petitioner, they will present it at the court level. The was INEC will say no. With your stamp, with the receipt the person used to pay for the certification, you see, that is madness. That is so INEC is the problem of Nigeria. They failed. You know, those who drafted, there is the 9th Assembly that drafted the electoral law. They make necessary provision for INEC to have all the power to avoid many litigations. But INEC threw it off. Most of all these cases that went to you went to use a material that are not with their serial numbers. And I would say, where did you come with this? No, this is not our result. Council is there and there. But INEC did it. So INEC is the major problem of our election.
Okay, now I'll plead with you. We need to go on the break now, and when we come back, we'll make it truly interactive because we're quite sure we'll open up the lines, get your reactions, views, and also response as it concerns the big story for today. Let's go on a break.